Hello again and welcome to Onyx. Have you lost your damn mind? Where today we're making a build for what is largely considered the worst subclass in the game, that being Behemoth Titan. I am here to prove to you that Behemoth Titan isn't bad and that you shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet. We're building around Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap today, which I'm just going to be calling Lance Cap for the rest of the video, which makes it so that our thrown diamond lances creates stasis crystals with more generated when hitting stronger enemies. In addition, we also generate diamond lances on precision hits and kills while behind a rally barricade, and we have a stasis super equipped. This does open the build up for prismatic, but to be honest, I don't think it's that good on prismatic, and it's also much more interesting to make a build for Behemoth. After that, we're going to pop open our subclass. While diamond lance isn't technically a mandatory aspect for the build, we'd be pretty silly not to take it, considering that we want as many as we can get. Keep in mind, Diamond Lance works best with stasis weapons as well as abilities, so if you've got a stasis weapon, make sure you huck one on. Tectonic Harvest is a pretty easy second pick since we're going to be shattering both crystals and targets all the time. After that, we're popping on Whisper of Fissure since, again, we're shattering stuff all the time. Shards for the grenade damn near 24/7 with, again, how much shattering is going on. Chains is going to make it so Frost Armor is active damn near 24/7. Induction is extremely useful since it means we won't have to pick up every stasis shard individually. We can kind of just walk near them. And finally, Rhyme makes it so we can stack our Frost Armor up to ×8 and gives us even more time with our Frost Armor. While we unfortunately can't swap off of this sorry excuse of a melee ability, we can choose our grenade, and for this build, we're going to go with Glacier Grenade since it feeds our shatter-based fragments remarkably well. And of course, obviously, we're on Rally Barricade for the Lance Cap. For our stats, we're obviously turning Rezel up to the max. We want those sweet barricades as much as possible. After that, we're cranking Discipline all the way up to 100 since grenade spam is our whole thing outside of throwing diamond lances. And any points after that should be slapped into Recovery since all of our staying power is damage resist based, and we will need at least a little bit of healing. For our mods, we're rocking a Void Siphon for orbs and Double Finder since ammo is tight. In the arms, we're rocking double firepower since we're killing stuff with grenades enough to warrant it, and bolstering detonation for even more barricades off of our grenades. Chest, we're rocking triple resist. In the legs, we're going with Better Already to kickstart our pretty poor regen, Absolution to fuel even more ability spam, and Scav for your heavy weapon of choice. Last item, we're rocking Special Finisher to keep us healthy on cash, Distribution for all-around ability regeneration, and Reaper for orbs since we're using our class ability quite a bit. Normally, I would go over the artifact perks here, but we're not really gonna do that for this build, mainly because the seasonal artifact kind of just doesn't have that much going on outside of weapon-based stuff and the standard defib flashover shenanigans. If you've been watching my other videos, I imagine you know what those weapon-based perks are at this point, but if you don't, make sure you have these enabled to get the most out of your arsenal. I know that this segment was kind of underwhelming, but to be frank, the build doesn't get a whole lot out of the Tablet of Ruin since it's mostly art and strand based, and we're not running either of those. Step 1 is to get a diamond lance. This honestly should not be terribly difficult, given all of the ways we have to do that, but just whatever works, just do it. And after that, it's mostly ability spam. Whenever you've got a grenade, make sure you're hucking it out and hitting stuff with it, even if you're not getting maximum value, because you're throwing enough of them that one bad grenade doesn't really matter that much. After we get the ball rolling in terms of Frost Armor, you kind of want to make sure it never winds down. Ideally, you're throwing out some kind of ability that's getting you shards almost constantly. You're either refreshing Frost Armor or getting another Diamond Lance pretty constantly, and those two kind of fuel each other. With your Diamond Lances, you do actually need to pay attention to the cooldown timer if you don't have a bunch lying around, since you want to make sure you're actually making a Diamond Lance every time you throw one. This isn't necessary, it's just a minor optimization to make sure that it works. Past that, you want to make sure you're actually breaking stasis crystals when you throw them to make sure you're getting both Whisper of Shards and the stasis shards for Frost Armor. Oh, and since it's been a while since you've used Glacial Quake for anything other than DPS in Vesper's Host, just a reminder, the Shiver Strike is not any better just because you're in Super. Just heavy slam attack to build up a bunch of crystals and shatter them all when you're done. So is Behemoth officially the new meta? Okay, no, probably not. But the setup is still pretty damn effective. Having said that, it's definitely a slower setup than a lot of the stuff you're going to see running around in the wild nowadays. That doesn't make it necessarily bad, though. It's just the situations you'll use it in are a little bit more niche. In terms of trying to use this in a raid or a dungeon, I would just completely forget it. It's a little hard to run this build when everything around you is just exploding. GM and solo content, however, is where this build has a little more room to shine. In GM content, enemies are actually going to take a little bit of time to die, meaning that the ability to put everything in jail from a mile away suddenly becomes useful. In addition, shatters actually do quite a bit of damage, and when you combine this with defib, champions explode a lot faster than you'd think they would. So, in conclusion, yeah, Behemoth doesn't actually suck that bad. If I'm being honest, this is probably the only Behemoth build you're going to see for a little while, and I wouldn't really run anything else on Behemoth Titan. Being honest, Behemoth is probably not going to be meta as long as it's stuck with this apology note instead of a melee ability. Okay, I think we're done trying to be an Olympic javelin thrower for this week. Tune in next time, where we're going to cover a Warlock build that's simply electrifying. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now!